Hi, I'm Simon Crafar. This is the Motovudu Almeria track guide. I'll be taking you through all the corners on the circuit, showing you how to ride it like a pro. We're at turn 1 at Almeria Circuit. So when I pass the start-finish line, squeezing everything out of that bike, like maximum every gear. As soon as I know nobody's coming out of the pit lane onto the track, I get maximum left. A lot of guys say to me, "Si, I don't feel safe close to the dirt on the left," and they leave a metre or two. But by leaving that metre or two, you make the corner that much tighter, harder, more stretch for the front tyre. So I get maximum left, and as soon as I get to my brake marker, bang, and then braking in a straight line for a while until the right moment where it's almost at the start of the ripple strip on the left, where you start braking on a slight angle. You're still maximum brakes, but on a slight angle toward the corner. You get to about mid-track, still back from the corner, and release the brake with enough speed to get to the apex or get to the paint on the right. I see a lot of guys braking straight ahead for too long on turn 1, and then when they release the brake and lean over, they've got a lot further to go to get to the corner in turn 1, but also they've stressed the tyre in that initial turn in, and they're so easy to pass by braking on an angle toward the corner. And I release the brake from, it's about mid-track, and really you need to do it with so much speed. It's like, whoa, can I make it? But just commit, as long as you don't touch that front brake, commit your body to the turn, get your body over the paint on the right, and when you crack the throttle, don't do it too much. As soon as you crack the throttle too hard, you're going to run away from the paint and destroy the exit and that run up the hill. So crack the throttle only enough to stop it slowing down. Then body over the paint for that little bit longer, then you touch the throttle and start building speed, carefully because you're still leaning over, until you reach the outside of the track, stand the bike up. We're at turn 2, Almeria, which is a blind brow, quite fast, don't need any brakes for it. So how I do it is, as I'm exiting turn 1, and you get out near the paint on the outside, as soon as the bike's upright, directly connected, as soon as the bike's upright, your engine has to jump, and you really accelerate up the hill. Even though it's a blind brow, use it like a straight. Squeeze everything out of it. When I first started learning the track, I don't use it now, but there's a tyre wall here, the closest one. I used that as my reference point. As soon as I saw the tyre wall come into view over the brow here, I use it as a signal to start turning in. And I don't do it aggressively, just like a smooth flowing movement from standing up to rolling off, and lying down at the same time over the brow. The last thing you want to do is turn in too late aggressively, because you'll stress the tyres out, especially here where it's off camber. So you're dropping off a hill at the same time as swerving. You don't want to do it. So it's one smooth movement from upright on the very left of the track to turning in and rolling off the throttle. If you don't roll off, same deal. The bike unloads as it goes over the hill, and the rear tyre won't stay hanging on. So it's one smooth movement. The idea is to go through turn 2 carrying as much speed as you can, but don't do anything to upset it. Don't close the throttle, don't open it, don't touch the brakes, don't move, just let it flow through there. And what I do is not let it run wide on the exit. So no more than mid-track, and then as the bike comes upright again, back on the throttle, directly connected, back on the throttle, and use the short straight between turn 2 and 3. Squeeze everything out of it. Once I'm in the middle of turn 2, I do try to get near the paint and just run around the paint on the inside, like the shortest route. But you're better off not changing line. For example, if you turn in there a little bit late and you can't quite get back to the paint, don't stress about it. Don't change direction and stress those tyres out. Just sit where you are, never mind, we'll try and fix it the next lap. Even if you're a metre or so wide, it doesn't matter. Concentrate on getting the drive to the next turn. We're at Almeria at the entrance of turn 3, and to me, there's a lot of different lines, you know, that I see used on this one. The one I try and use is to lengthen the straight approaching turn 3. So I come out of turn 2, as I've said before, as the bike stands up, I don't let the thing run wide, about mid-track, squeeze everything you can out of the short straight approaching turn 3. Then, while I'm on the throttle, I start turning back towards the entrance of turn 3 and then brake towards the first apex, because it's going to be a double apex, much like the last turn at Aragon. So I'm braking on a slight angle towards turn 3, and as I get, but it's only a slight angle, so you're still full brakes, and I'm trying to hold the bike up on the safer part of the front tyre. As I get to the paint on the inside, I release the brake and then commit to full lean. And by doing that, you're reducing the risk of the front tyre letting go on the entry. And you're carrying so much speed past that paint and you're committing your body and getting the bike to turn, but you're just trusting it. There's no throttle, no brakes, so trust the tyres. And you've carried so much speed on the way in there that you run out to maybe mid-track, third track, somewhere around there. It doesn't matter if it's more, because you've got time to come back, but you've won the time on the entry. The riders that, on the approach of turn 3, pull it all the way back to the right-hand side of the track before turning in, have turned that short straight on the approach into an S, but also they've made the corner huge. It's like you've doubled the size of it by the time you go from the very right and quickly around the corner, more than likely destroy the exit as well because of the speed across. But the other thing is they're so easy to pass. The late turn-in riders, you just dive up the inside. It's so easy to pass. Just make sure when you are going to pass someone on the approach, it is easy, like I said, because they're pulling it right when you can dive through. But if you leave the manoeuvre too late, they're likely to come right across the front of you while you're carrying a lot more speed. I really enjoy this corner because you can carry so much more speed on the entrance than you think you can, you know, being a double apex. And then by doing that, it helps the exit and the next straight as well. We're at the exit of turn 3, Almeria Circuit. I see a lot of riders enter from out wide and run around the inside of the track as, you know, as close to the paint as possible with as much speed as possible. The problem with that is, yeah, they carry a lot of speed in the middle, but it throws them out on the exit and it destroys that next straight. So I much prefer to treat it as a double apex, a lot like the last turn at Motorland, Aragon. So enter with as much speed as I can. Once I let the brakes off and get it on its side, so much speed that it runs out mid-turn and you're somewhere around mid-track, doesn't matter exactly, as long as you've carried lots of speed. So you've won on the entry. And when the bike slows enough, it starts coming back inside, then you can crack the throttle to stop it coming back. Because if you come back too early, again, you'll destroy the exit. So I run around the middle of the corner, out from the paint a little bit, carrying as much speed as I can. And then towards the end, your aim is to look at the end of the ripple strip and get back to that ripple strip before the end. And in doing that, you're coming back on the right angle to line up the next little straight that you see down there. So turn 3 is a perfect example of the straights longer, corners shorter rule. Once I accelerate from turn 3, close to the ripple strip on the inside, lining up that short straight, as soon as the bike's upright, squeeze everything you can out of that short straight, aiming probably 1.5 meters to the left of the ripple strip on turn 4, getting there as quick as I can. And then at the last moment, shut the throttle, maximum lean and get my body over the paint, well over the paint. If you miss the paint by 1 meter or 2, there's a chance of you running off the track on the left. So body over that paint, you never need brakes for turn 4. Body over that paint with so much speed that it carries you out. By the time it slows enough to start turning back, you're on the right line for turn 5. Okay, we're standing at the approach of turn 5, yet another blind brow. It probably gets the most complaints from riders, where to be on track and where to push. The thing with it is, I think it's the approach to it, meaning going through turn 4, that lines you up for it. And it's one of those corners where it's hard to make time. It's just really about, you're not going to brake for it. It's just really about keeping enough speed. You can adjust it with your throttle where you want to be on track. So as I've gone through turn 4 with so much speed on the entry, body across the paint, it pushes me wide before turn 5, then it starts coming back on a good line for turn 5. And if it comes back too much, you just open the throttle and keep it, you're adjusting where you are on the track, carrying as much speed as you can. You can't accelerate hard and you can't brake. So it's just partial throttle over a blind brow. And there's not much more to it. You're not trying to drive over the hill. You're not trying to slow down. You're just carrying speed over it on the approach to turn 6. We're at the exit of turn 6 in Almeria. It's probably the trickiest section of the track, turn 5 and 6, blind double right. And for me, it starts by building a bit of speed, using an extra bit of throttle on the exit of turn 5, so it pushes the bike right out wide, so I have to close the throttle, and the bike turns better with the closed throttle. It comes back and make it back to the paint on the inside of turn 6, lining up that short straight between 6 and 7, and that's where you win the time, on that short straight. So once I've got back to the paint, I don't give it too much throttle and run wide, because then turn 7's too tricky. You're asking too much of the front tyre. So I line up the straight, and I don't use more than about mid-track here, squeezing everything out of it down the centre of the track. You don't need brakes for turn 7, so it's like, then when you think the moment's right, close the throttle, get the bike on its side, get your body over the paint, turn 7, and you're carrying so much speed that you rush past the paint and it pushes you out to the exit of turn 7, where you stand the bike up and fire it at turn 8. We're standing on the approach of turn 8. I've seen quite a lot of people lose the front into turn 8, and I understand why. It's because they've come out of turn 7, squeezing everything out of that straight, but they come back to this side of the track too late. So the bike's aiming that way when they need to brake and turn the opposite way. So it's asking too much of the front tyre. So the trick is, come out of turn 7, get a good drive, but as soon as it starts driving, get back to this side of the track. Then you can get your bike aiming the right way, brake towards the turn rather than braking away and having to come back. So coming back towards turn 8, and release the brakes before you get too much lean on, because the front, you're asking a lot of it in there. So I release the brakes and commit my body to the turn, get your body over the paint, and it's one of those corners that you don't let the bike run away from the paint. Hug it all the way around, ready for turn 9. We're standing at turn 8, 9, Almeria, and if you line it up and get it right, it's actually quite effortless and feels really nice. It's basically paint to paint to paint. I'm braking towards turn 8, so I don't load the front up too much, then release the brake with enough speed to commit my body to the turn, get it over the paint, and I hug the paint the whole way around. You don't try and accelerate and drive away, because you'll destroy turn 9. Hug the paint, then stand it up, body over the paint, turn 9, with enough speed that it pushes you out on the exit near the paint. As soon as the bike stood up, squeeze everything out of the drive up the hill over the blind brow. Right, we're standing on the approach to turn 10, I call it, over the blind brow to the chicane, and it's one of my favourite places on the whole track. It's basically a short straight to the brow. So as I come out of turn 9, as soon as the bike's near the paint here and I stand it up, I squeeze everything out of that engine. Like, it's got to be in a low enough gear that it really pulls up the hill. You don't want to be waiting and then it go. You want to absolutely fly up the straight. And I don't start turning into the turn or towards the brow until I get to the end of the ripple strip. And then when I do start turning in, it's a real gradual turn in. You don't turn in a hurry. I'm aiming at missing the apex at the top of the hill by 1.5 meters out. Then you make the apex after the brow where the painted ripple strip is. It makes the braking a lot easier. If you turn in too early, you'll be going over the brow with a bigger lean on and braking with a bigger lean on. So repeat, I'll absolutely nail it down the paint here, start to turn in as I go over the hill. Because my body is off the side for turn 9, as the bike stands up here, I keep it off the side and leave it off the side, looking over your hand and your bum off the side of the seat all the way to the chicane. By doing that, the bike is slightly further up than it would be if you were looking through the screen. And because it's slightly further up, you can use slightly more throttle. And the idea is to keep the bike accelerating all the way up here and all the way over the brow of the hill. Sure, it depends on how good your rear tyre is, how much you can accelerate. Like if I've got a brand new rear on, you can pretty much accelerate almost full all the way over the hill. But as soon as the tyre wear comes in, you've got to use less and less. But by holding the bike up, looking over your hand, you can keep accelerating all the way up over the hill to your braking marker. So now we're at the chicane. I brake at the chicane as hard as I can and concentrate on stopping the bike in the shortest possible time, but also looking at the right hand side of the track and making sure I make it all the way there, right to close to the paint, to give you the best approach to the chicane. I've noticed if I look away from the right hand side too early at the chicane, I find you turn in too early and then tightening the chicane up. So all the way to the right hand side, basically touching the paint on the right, braking as hard as I can, then start to turn in and come off the brakes. By coming off the brakes, you've given the front tyre the chance to turn as you lean over maximum at the chicane without folding. So brake, come off, bang, on its side with enough speed to make it to the chicane. As I make it to the chicane, body over the paint on the left, as the bike stands up in the middle of the chicane, I squirt the throttle. Throttle directly connected to the lean angle of the bike. Squirt, and as I turn right, roll off the throttle, click the next gear up, which is the right gear for the next section. That squirt in the middle of the chicane, push it out nice and wide, gives you a better approach to the next section. Once I've exited the chicane, the bike is still on its side. The aim is to get to this paint on your left before turning onto the back straight as quickly as possible. But you're still at quite a lean angle, so the idea is push the bike up as much as you can while you're still turning so you can use more throttle. Get there as quickly as you can, passing this paint on your way. It doesn't matter exactly where you are, long as you get there quickly. I'd accelerate, keep accelerating past that point where you want to close the throttle, close it, get it on its side, get it turning back towards the inside on the run onto the back straight. By doing that, the bike will turn more and you'll get a better exit. We're standing at turn 13, which is the corner onto the back straight at Almeria. Because of that, it's probably the most important corner for your lap time, because if you get a good run onto that back straight, you win all the way down it. And because you're exiting onto the back straight at an angle, it's a constant corner all the way onto it, you're forced to accelerate while you're leaning over, which is, obviously dangerous. It's really important to get that throttle open, but also get it up off the edge of the tyre so you can, if you stay leaned over, too much gas, it's high side city, but it's also the perfect place to practice the skid. Don't turn into it too early and carry too much speed through it and not be able to open the throttle. Get out wide before it, get most of the turning done before the corner, so through the corner and all the way out, you can be starting to come up off the edge of the tyre and driving hard and winning that time all the way down. Okay, we're at turn 14, which is the end of the longest straight at Almeria. What I do is, when I get to my braking marker, bang, I'm like concentrating on stopping the bike, just on the very left-hand side of the track, absolutely maximum brakes. You're going from the highest speed on the track to more or less the lowest speed on the track in one braking. So right on the left-hand side of the track, maximum braking, down through the gears. On a standard 1000, it's right down to first gear, obviously depending on your gearing, but Then once the time is right, towards the end of this ripple strip, I brake, still at maximum braking. I get my upper body off the side a little bit and I turn into the center of the track. And by doing this, like turn 1, you set the bike up for the right angle for the corner. Once I get to the middle of the track, but more importantly, the right speed, I let go the brake, commit to the corner. Because I've let go the brake, the front won't suck. Get my body over the paint on the right-hander and with quite a bit of speed across it. But you do not want to run wide on this corner, because the wider you go, the slower you'll be on the last turn. And the last turn has a long straight after it. This doesn't. So sacrifice the exit of this corner to line up the last corner. So while you're exiting this turn, there's a short squirt to the last turn. So I carefully get on the throttle. It's a little bit uphill. You don't want to lose the rear there. It's pretty easy to. So I'm holding the bike up, get a short squirt in there. As the bike's upright, I give it a good squirt. I roll back, click the next gear. The next gear up is the right one for the last turn. Let's go and take a look at the last turn now and you'll see exactly what I mean. Okay, we're at turn 15, the last corner. It's really important not to let it run wide on turn 14, because if you do, you'll be coming back at the wrong angle for this corner, and it's really important to get a good run down that next straight. So don't let it run wide. Short squirt between the corners. Next gear up, which is the right gear for the last turn. And it's really important to carry as much speed across the last turn and be coming up off the edge of the tyre, driving down that next straight. I brake here, right on the left, so you're on this dotted line. And I'll get that camera in the right spot. So I'm braking along there. I'll even go left of that line. It doesn't matter, like you can see some guys have, because as you come back, you've got a better angle for the corner. If you're to the right at all, you're going to make that work on the front tyre harder. You're going to make that corner harder, and the front have to do more work. So you're right over here and you brake, concentrating on braking only, down the gears, and they get down those gears to help get your engine brake and help you stop. Then I'll brake towards the corner. As I get closer, brake. I'm still on full brake, but only a slight angle. I get to about mid-track here and let go the brake, bang it on its side, and then you make it, it's such a short distance and you can go so fast, just focusing on the turn of the bike, the grip of the tyres and the engine brake, and it gets you here, and then your body over this paint, body over the paint, body over the... I'll crack the throttle to stop it turning right up here, but you don't want to get it cracked too hard so you run wide and destroy the next exit. So you're basically running around the paint, and then now you start building speed to push you out wide, building speed, a little bit of throttle, you're carrying speed across here, and then as soon as you're here, you're upright, nail it, accelerate up this hill. It doesn't matter if you're on the paint or to the right. As soon as the wall comes, the second one for a fast lap, I start turning in and rolling off slightly, you know, and then you all the way back to constant throttle here, and just don't do anything to upset the bike. Run around the paint. Doesn't matter if you're a little bit wide, but don't do anything to upset it. As soon as it comes upright, mid-track, nail it. Full throttle down here, and then you're mid-track, but you start turning in and then brake on a slight angle till you get to this paint, let go with such speed that it pushes you out to mid-track, like double apex. It doesn't matter how wide you go, you've got a whole track to play with. Then it starts coming back, but don't go back too early, keep it on the throttle enough. But here, the focus is to get back to the end of the paint, so you line up that next straight. Then as soon as the bike's up right here, go! Absolutely nail it to probably a metre or so to the left of that paint. Then shut the throttle and get your body over that paint. And you've got so much speed with no brake that it pushes you out here, which now the bike's starting to slow and turn back. So I crack the throttle, but not too much, because you just want to keep the same speed over this brow of this hill, really close to that paint. Just here, I build speed a bit more throttle, so I have to shut the throttle here, and then the bike turns back on a better angle for the next one, right close to this paint, and then as the bike comes up mid-track, nail it, you got another straight. Go. It's building speed, then shut the throttle here, bang it on its side, you don't need any brakes, body over that paint with such speed that it pushes you out to here, stand it up and then nail it back towards this paint here. You got to get back early so you can go brake towards the corner and then let go with enough speed to make it here close to this paint. Just keep staying near the paint because you want to go paint to paint to paint here. You're absolutely nailed up the straight into that paint. I start turning in, but really gradual, and as I lean over, I'm going to miss the top of the brow for by 1.5 meters or so, and you're still accelerating all the way over this hill, and you'll see I don't even move the bar here, but it comes back. See this here? By missing the brow, it comes back, and then brake, and you stand the bike up, so you're brake, and it's safe because you're braking relatively upright, looking at this paint. Once you make it to that paint, and you're just concentrating on slowing the bike down, then you look over here. If you look over there too early, you'll go there and you'll never make it out to the right. So once you're there, look over there, start turning and let go of the brake before you lean over, get it on its side, then the front won't let go because you've got no brake on it. And you're really flying to here, and as you clip that paint, as you stand the bike up between, I squirt the gas, and I'm in a low gear, it forces the bike out here, and as I lean over and shut the throttle, I click the next gear up, which is right for the next section. That squirt pushed you out here and then gives you a straighter run through this next section. So now I'm building gas, I'm holding the bike up. It doesn't matter if you clip this paint or not, focus on getting to the outside, the paint over there as quick as you can, fast as you can. Now it's really scary here. I shut the throttle, lean it, and this is just about turning this bit. You're turning before the corner comes back, so you can start building from the apex, building, and it pushes you all the way to the outside here. And you use the whole track, get the best run onto that straight you can. Now you're just using, glued to the tank, chest on the tank, chin on the tank, building speed all the way down here, everything you can get out of the bike. And then look for the service road, which is about the right braking marker for 1,000. Bang, on the brakes, brake, right on the left-hand side here. And brake, down through the gears, just concentrate on braking. And now I brake to the center of the track, brake. Now let go, body over that paint. The speed you carry pushes you to about here. Now as the bike comes up, it's uphill, so you need to stay on the throttle a little. Now when it's upright enough, squirt. As I lean over, I click another gear. I'm doing the turning before the corner, so I can crack the throttle now and start building across there and all the way up. I use the whole track and push you up onto the paint here. Now, full throttle. Back towards here. As soon as you know no one's coming out of the pit lane, back right here. Now, brake into that point, you know. Brake. Brake towards the end, towards the middle here. Let go. Get your body over that paint. You're just trusting the tyres here, carrying as much speed as you can. And then start getting on the throttle softly, because you're still leaning, pushes you out here, stand up, go. Full, squeeze everything you can out of that straight. Second tyre wall, start rolling off and turning in. It doesn't matter if you turn in too early to that one. The danger is if you turn in too late and you stress the tyres. Down the middle of here, nailed. Go. Now I turn back, brake. As soon as I'm near the paint, let go of the brakes, lean. Body over that paint, you know. There's so much speed it pushes you out to mid-track or so. Doesn't matter exactly, as long as you come back, not too early, but towards the end of the paint, which means you can stand up and squeeze everything out of that straight. You've made that straight longer. Go. Shut the throttle, body over that paint. Pushes you out here. Now you have to, because it's coming back now, you have to crack the throttle. It's about the same speed that you're going past here. Now a little bit more, build. Shut the throttle. So it comes back on a good angle for this next straight. As it stands up, go. Squeeze everything out of that short straight. Go. Shut the throttle, bang it on its side, body over that paint. So much speed it pushes you out to this one. Stand it up, get back to the left early, full throttle, full. Because you want to go braking on this angle toward the corner. About here, let go, body over that paint. Hug it, hug it, hug it, hug it. You got constant little squirt, shut the throttle, clip that, body over that paint, pushes you out to here. As soon as you're right on this paint here, nail it all the way to the end of the paint. And then I start leaning in as I'm rolling off. Miss the apex at the top of the hill, miss at the brow. So you clip this one, braking, brake, brake, brake. Just concentrate on stopping only, looking at that paint. Get there, now look to the inside, let go, bang on its side. Little squirt in between, click up another gear as you shut the throttle, pushes you out there. Now concentrate on getting to where those guys are as quick as you can. Quick as you can. So you've got the throttle shut there and it's turning back. So crack the throttle now, get ready to go, start building speed. Go, 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 use the whole track. That's the end of my Almeria Circuit guide. I hope you've enjoyed it and it's been helpful. If you need any more info, drop us a line on motovudu.com.